Just on how well City have been playing recently, I seen something during the week on Twitter. It was Dash puts City to 11 wins in a row now, which is puts them eighth. That's the eighth longest winning streak in Premier League history. And three of the eight longest winning streaks in Premier League history have come in the last three seasons from Liverpool and City. So it just shows like how much like the big teams are just kind of are just dominating in Premier League. Like people have always given out about the Bundesliga and Serie A and even La Liga to a certain extent with Real Madrid and Barcelona, about the big teams dominating for so much. Like that's just starting to happen in the Premier League now. Because like I know City won two in a row and then Liverpool took it, but
no, Bundesliga and the French league, that's a piss take. Like if it's PSG and Bayern are going to win the league every single year, but you think in Spain it's either Barcelona or Real, and recently in the Premier League it's been City or Liverpool, and that tide's definitely changing. Like you think next year there's definitely United absolutely going to be up there. They'll make some good signs surely in the summer.
You'd imagine they'd sign a new centre half or something, and even they might bring in a new midfielder. Pogba goes as well, and that might help them improve. So you can't write them off. Chelsea, you never know. Tuchel could, if he gets to somewhere, you assume he will. You'd imagine he'd bring in some players to shore up that Chelsea midfield as well, and even maybe getting a new attacker if he doesn't trust Werner. So like, it's going to be a lot closer between. I still think City. Obviously, we're not calling next season already, but City are obviously still going to be up there next season. You'd imagine Liverpool with Van Dijk fit will be up there again next season, but it's going to be a lot tighter than it was the last 2 or 3 years.
But just on the point of the league quality diminishing or the top teams pulling away, I think that is always the feature of the top leagues, because the Premier League years ago was pretty shit. Like, let's be honest, like 13 titles for United. Apart from the Wenger spell of him being good and then Mourinho at Chelsea, Premier League was a pretty dead league. Like, it was pretty foregone conclusion.
Like the early 2010s were quite bad. Teams
90s were terrible.
The teams weren't performing in Europe. Like, it was just Spanish-dominated European performances. Like Sevilla were winning loads of Europa Leagues, which was a bit mad. And then Real Madrid won loads of Champions Leagues. Barcelona in there as well. But I think the Premier League's now come back into this dominance that it probably
the
should
managers,
have.
is it?
Well, like, I know the 2008, it was an All-English Champions League final with United coming out on top. And then Liverpool got to 2 Champions League finals as well. And then the 10s, United got there with Fergie against Barcelona. But, like, apart from that, there's been...
Chelsea won it. Chelsea won the year after.
Yeah, but that's when the Premier League was scrap. Like, that Chelsea team was bad.
Yeah, that Chelsea team finished 7th, I think. Like, I'm pretty sure
Liverpool FA Cup, did they? I think.
Yes, Liverpool either finished one place above them or one place below them that year, and Liverpool were fairly thin that year as well.
Oh yeah, one place below them. Yeah, it was 8th, wasn't it?
It was awful.
Disaster.
That was the Dalglish terrorism when he was back at the club. Fucking Stuart Downing and the men.
The best era of Liverpool football.
Yeah, we're spoiled for choice at this stage, but
yeah, it puts in perspective. Like, we've just won the league, we won the Champions League, and like we're getting really mad about all this.
Yeah, like I still think I'm still holding on to that season. We got 97 points and didn't win the league because just all these City titles are just flooding in, and it's just so unfair. Like, Klopp did so well to get so close to City that season, because that, like, Liverpool's squad is a chest of riches, don't get me wrong, but City's squad is just a joke. Like, anyone can win the league with that squad, really, if you're half confident.
Yeah, anyone can win that league if you're half competent, and it's even harder when you've got Pep Guardiola at the helm to beat them.
Yeah. If you had David Moyes managing City, he'd win the league with them because they're just so good.
Yeah,
doesn't matter what manager's there. The manager's playing style would rub off, but
you don't get the
squad is just
grand.
So good. Like, Laporte can't get a game. He got a game recently, but
they've not had any strikers all season.
Yeah, and even still, they're still banging in the goals.
See, everyone else is below par this year, pretty much. There's a load of freak results because different things happen. I don't really know what it is, but City are probably still a bit below par, but they're just a bit more consistent than everyone because they have the players.
It was just they started off slow, and they didn't even start off that slow. And then Diaz and Stones started becoming this wild partnership. Like, no one would have thought John Stones at the start of the year would have been one of the best defenders in the league.
Cancelo getting a game.
John Stones is certainly, in my opinion anyways, the most improved player in the league this season. Cancelo is class. You can play up either right back or left back. And then they still have Kyle Walker. Like, if you could do a whole podcast talking about City's squad and how good they are and the depth and everything, but it's just crazy.
Nobody listened to it because there's no fans.